Yeah.
Good for you.
Well, there you go.
Luckily, I still have both my testicles, so it's very cool.
Stop, drop, and roll.
Yeah, I was about to.
He learned something new that day. You're not supposed to jump
Don't jump on fires created with flames that don't get put out very easily.
I used to play around. I mean, this is kind of a dumb thing when you're a kid. I mean, I suppose it's still dumb if you're an adult, but I used to take the paint, like you mentioned, and we had a lighter, and we get that flamethrower effect going on. It's like, that was so fun. But somebody told me, is like, hey, when you do it away from the flame, you can notice how the flame starts from the flame on, and you got all this mist from you. But if that ever moved back into the can, it could blow up. So I was always watching for that. But I didn't really know that. How often had I done it before somebody showed me that? Yeah. I could have blown my face off.
Yeah, you see it in the movies all the time. You're just like, oh, that's cool. Let's try that, and then, bam, first try.
Yeah.
You have no face no more.
No eyebrows. Yeah. So I just looked up: is fire an element?
Element of fire.
Is it an element?
I think it is.
Classical Westerns philosophers divided the world into. Shut up! I'm trying.
Hey, I'm not making fun of you. I'm trying.
I almost had
helping
it.
You.
I know. Thank you. You're encouraging me.
Yes.
You almost got it, stupid. Good job. You just keep on trying with those big words.
Come on, man.
The world
I think he needs to eat a bug.
Me or him?
You.
Oh. Every time I read a word wrong, I gotta eat a bug. That is messed up. It'll be gone. They'll be gone in about 5 minutes.
I'm gonna be sick, guys.
Yeah. Okay. Classic Western philosophers. Falafels. Divided the world into 4 elements: earth, water, air, and fire. Simply defined. Fire is a chemical reaction in a mixture of incandescent gases, typically luminous with the intense heat. But candle flames, wood fires, and propane fires are created equal. So all fires are equal. That's all it gives me.
I kind of love how he can say incandescent, but he has so much trouble saying philosophers.
Yeah.
Philosophers first.
Philosophers? That means they're...
I still think the word is falafels. I don't know. I think
they're officers that are philosophers. Philosophers.
Shut up. It didn't really answer my question though. Is fire an element?
Oh, well, the element of fire. You got all the video games. You got earth.
Yeah, those elements.
You got
water, actually
fire.
The elemental
Air.
table and everything where you got iron, gold.
Remember the
nickel,
remember the
helium and all that crap.
The show Avatar, the cartoon. Yeah. Fire
Earth,
is one
wind,
of them.
Fire, water. Yeah. So technically, it is an element, but it's on a different level. Like you got periodically, you have metals.
The actual.
Yeah. And then you have the actual earth elements, which is earth, wind, fire, water. Which without those 4 elements, you don't have an earth.
Oh, here's one. MIT School of Engineering. Is fire a solid, a liquid, or a gas?
See, that's what the number one question is right there. Is it?
Yeah. What state is it actually?
Yes. What is it?
It sounds like it's a gas.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
From what they're saying, it's the combustion of a gas.
Yeah, it sounds like it's gaseous in some way.
What does it say?
Guys, go ahead and talk about it yourself. It's going to take me a second to read this. I'm not going to read it out loud because I don't feel like eating a bunch of bugs.
We're not going to make you eat bugs.
Simply defined, fire is a chemical reaction in a mixture of incandescent gases, typically luminous with the intense heat. But candle flame, wood flame, and propane fires aren't created equal. What continuous fire depends on the fuel being burned. Says Chen.
Mm-hmm.
The chemistry of each type of fire is different.
Oh, it's a guy's name. Sorry, folks.
Yeah, I didn't get a word wrong.
Jiao Cheng is what his name is. Jiao Chen.
They're simply to the extent that all fires release energy stored and fueled, and is supplied with enough oxygen in enough time, eventually produce carbon dioxide and water. Oh,
yeah.
Fire produces carbon dioxide and water.
It does.
Yeah.
Wow.
It does.
That's why in certain fires, the carbon dioxide is what's going to asphyxiate you. Yeah.
Yes.
Not enough air in the room.
You cannot get more energy out of it without putting more energy in. that makes sense. That's
Well, yeah, you like it said, and if the oxygen leaves the room, there's no fire, or if the fuel leaves, there's no fire.
All fires eventually burn themselves out.
Like
Unlike
he said.
solids, liquids, and gases, which can exist indefinitely in the same state. So it's none of those.
No, it's not.
No.
It's its own element,
Yeah.
I guess. If it's not really an element, I guess it's just its own thing.
But as long as 3 things are present, it's there.
It has to have at least oxygen,
It has to have a
heat,
fuel.
and fuel.
Yep.
So you have to have one of those 3 in order for a fire to actually be ignited.
Actually, I heard something really cool when I was listening to Neil deGrasse Tyson. There we go.
Yeah.
Can't remember his first name. What the hell's wrong with me? Anyways, I was listening to him talk, and he was talking about the movie Gravity.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I think it was the was that guy's name Rogan?
Seth Rogen.
Seth
It was
Rogen.
a podcast channel.
Yeah, and he was talking about the movie Gravity, and the one thing they got right was fire. So fire needs oxygen to burn, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a spaceship, if you have a fire in there, there's oxygen. It's
Lot
gonna
of it.
burn.
Oh yeah,
But
it's
it
nothing but
will
oxygen. It's
will
pure
put itself out though,
Mm-hmm.
because here on Earth heat rises. So on Earth, as the heat's rising, it's getting new oxygen to the flame to continue its burn.
It's recycling.
In
yes.
space, it's just expanding outward
Yeah.
in a circle. None of that is going anywhere, so it's no longer getting oxygen to the fire. It'll put itself out.
But
That's really cool.
there was a story on one of the space stations. It was a bunch of Russians that were up on the space station, and they had a fire.
Yeah.
Now the oxygen is richer on those space stations.
Yeah.
It is
And-
because it's just pure oxygen.
And
There's
this
no
was a
carbon dioxide.
bad thing. There was no way this was putting itself out. They had to put this out. This was crazy and fast and deadly.
Yeah.
I remember that it worked out good at the end, but it was a very close call.
Yeah, because what like he said, it's richer. It's just pure carbon. It's just pure oxygen.
Yeah.
I mean, the only carbon dioxide you have in the air is what you're breathing out.
Yeah.
That's it. Other than that, it's those filtration systems. They just do nothing but oxygen. It's no carbon dioxide.
Well,
whatsoever.
there is a mixture.
Yeah, they put the filters and
There
stuff
still
in there,
has
but
to be other things like nitrogen and
Yeah.
stuff like that
Well,
inside
yeah,
the mixture
but-
of it. Otherwise, they would be up there,
But-
not doing crap because they'd be high all
But
day.
this is this was a small environment, basically the size of a school bus that
Yeah.
you live in, and half of it's on fire. It's, it's pretty bad.
I'm gonna look it up.
The fire that was on that station.
Well, what type of oxygen's in a space shuttle? I
Oh.
just don't know how to spell oxygen.
OXYGN.
OXYGEN.
Yes.
I didn't hear the E. You gotta get closer to your mic, buddy.
GEN.
There we go.
Gen.
What is the oxygen used in the space station? Come on. My tablet's not working very quickly.
Technology.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it is. It's technology.
Most of the station's oxygen will come from a process called electrolysis. Electrolysis, which uses
Electrolysis.
Electrolysis. Yeah. Actually, that's correct. Electrolysis.
electrolysis
Yeah.
from the ISS solar panels to split water into hydrogen gas and oxygen gas. Left the ISS first crew, Bill Shepard, Sergey and Urine Gonzalo. I'm sorry, you guys, for slaughtering your names. You're heroes to me because you went up in space. I'm sorry I messed up your
Sergey
names.
Krikalev.
Krikalev.
Yes.
Okay. Aboard the space station.
Yes. Krikalev.
So that's what it is, but what's the mixture in it, though?
So it's just oxygen and nitrogen. There's no carbon dioxide in there.
So they just put a certain percentage of each that that's normal.
It's a normal.
That's pretty cool, though, the way that they do that, because it's
Because we can't
splits
just
water
breathe
into
pure
hydrogen and
oxygen.
no.
hydrogen
It
gas.
I mean,
has to be
not
high
for
all the
very
time,
long.
Like he said, no.
So that's weird, though, because they're actually splitting molecules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. Scientific, I guess.
Yeah. Don't they do that on planes?